All right, y'all, what's going on? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And wanted to make this video. I'm actually live on stream right now. We had a long, detailed discussion and conversation about the most underrated characters in Marvel Strike Force. Now, it's just kind of interesting, right? Because there's a lot of characters that are in the game that necessarily on top tier characters that maybe you are gonna go out of your way to invest into, but they do actually have some value in the game. And if you were to build them up for any sort of which reason, you would actually find that they're actually some good, valuable characters. So this is kind of a community chat list right now that we're going to be going through here. But I'm also curious to know who you guys probably think are some underrated characters that maybe we aren't using. I want to see you guys put that in the comments as well. But the first character that I want to talk about is Kitty Pryde. And I know some of you guys may say, no, Kitty Pryde is rated correctly. We know how good she is, blah, blah, blah. But I constantly hear people, man, talk about the fact that they're just like, I want to put Kitty Pryde on the bench. I'm going to replace her for Omega Red. I'm going to replace her for XYZ or whoever that character is. And no, Kitty Pryde had so much value to the X-Men team in raids, and I find that losing her from the team, it changes the dynamic. It changes the dynamic of me being able to win a lot of matchups. She provides a lot of the healing for the team. She has an amazing special that can give offense down. She can also flip, obviously, defense down as well, right? On a whoever's taunting, flip taunt to defense down. She provides a lot. She provides the evade. She provides the defense up whenever a character or ally goes below 50%. I find that she has an insane amount of value on this team, and replacing her, she's not necessarily an easily replaceable character in my opinion. So I like Kitty Pryde. I think she's an underrated character. I don't think that yeah, she's used and built up by a lot of players, but I do feel like there's still a lot of players who are just like, man, she's just not that good. I can't justify her being on the team. Well, in my opinion, I definitely think that she's worth being on that team as well. Now, I'm also going to talk about another one of the characters that on her team as well does kind of get a little bit of flack too, and it's Iceman. And I feel like everybody's always like Jubilee, Beast, Bishop, these are the characters, but nobody else. But Iceman too, I think is kind of underrated on the team just because of what he provides in terms of value. And yeah, I think that initially when he was first released, a lot of players were just like, man, he has terrible focus, and then of course they had to rework and increase his focus quite a bit so that he could actually land the slows on the enemy characters. But since that has changed, he's been a better character. But what I find to be so valuable with him is that in raids, whenever you don't have Iceman, you definitely do feel it, right? This is passive. Whenever they have a slow, he's lowering the armor by 20% for all the enemies, which means that you're able to do more damage. And then on top of that as well, in raids, you're also able to lower the damage of all the enemies by 30% if they have slow too. So for me, I don't know, a lot of you guys are probably doing these Doom raids right now. That second node, man, in Doom 2 raids, it is insane. And not having Iceman there to throw those slows to prevent Longshot, Shatterstar, Polaris from essentially yeeting your entire team, Iceman holds his weight and has an insane amount of value for me. So in my opinion, I think he's kind of a little bit of an underrated character. His stun is also pretty effective and impactful too. Really helpful against multiple man, really, so that he can not summon those dupes when you're trying to finish off that node, stunning Hulk so that the Hulk doesn't get that offense up and go crazy and go bananas and kill your team. So I like Iceman, man. I think he's really, really solid, really, really good, or underrated character on that team, in my personal opinion. Now, the next character I want to talk about is a character that I have yet to fully build up because there's just so many characters that are I need to build up right now. I'm trying to find her, but it's Storm. Whenever I find her, I'll let you know. So it's Storm. Storm got a rework, and granted, like her stats didn't really increase or improve that much, but I think what turned me around on Storm was this past Pocket Dimension and just how players kind of showed me what they were doing with Storm and how valuable she was. Now, she became a lot more valuable because of Magic, right? Magic is giving her these extra charges, but just going to even using her in war tonight, use her in a war matchup, and just watching her being able to AoE stun once she has the charges, being able to AoE kind of delete characters, which is what some players were doing in Pocket Dimension. Damn, man, Storm is actually a pretty valuable character on that team. Now, obviously, if you don't care about war, then whatever, it is what it is, right? but just seeing and her kind of making a resurgence and kind of helping to control a lot of these matchups, I think makes her an undervalued character, because I think a lot of players are still like, hey man, I'm not going to invest into Storm, I'm not going to invest into this team, but she still has an insane amount of value. So like her pretty much. I think her value is starting to climb a little bit more now, but I do think that still she's kind of an underrated character from this most recent patch that we just had here as well. So Storm definitely on the list for me. Another character I wanted to talk about here is, this is probably going to be a little controversial, because we talked about it in the chat and everybody was just like, she's not really underrated, players are building her up, but it's Shuri, man. And I think Shuri gets a lot of heat, because I'm gonna keep it real, man, her health pool sucks, right? Her health pool is absolutely terrible, and everybody complains about the fact that she just literally doesn't survive. Like, it's crazy. And I get it. I actually do honestly think that in my personal opinion, that I do think that kind of sucks as well, right? That her health pool doesn't carry outside of raids very well. She needs that extra 40% health, right? In raids, if you got a T4 that passive to give her the extra health, so that she can survive. Like, it's really kind of a crazy scenario, but I still think that she's one of the better utility characters in the game. With her defense up, she's gonna be able to give you, she defense up for 2 turns, number 1, and then she can also generate ability energy for 2 random allies. I use her right now in Doom raids with my Doom. And sometimes Doom gets that ability energy, and if he gets that ability energy, that helps him to get his ult a little bit quicker. So I find so much value with Shuri. I think a lot of players are just like, hey man, her health pool sucks, it's not worth building her up. But time and time again, she's that older legendary character that's power creep, but still you can find plug and play value for her. Using her in Pocket Dimension was really fun. Using her right next to Starlo in Pocket Dimension was also a lot of fun too. So in my opinion, hey, Shuri actually has a lot of value in my opinion. So yeah, like it. A lot of people will give me flack for T4 and the basic ability. I T4 this man for Dark Dimension 3. Y'all leave me alone, all right? Y'all leave me alone. It was fun at the time. Not really. I needed to ability block. I needed to heal block Iron Fist for 2 turns so that he didn't come and kill my life. So that was pretty much basically the reason why that's there. But yeah, Shuri for me definitely goes to the underrated category for me. And another character that's also a legendary character that I think is underrated, and the chat gave me a lot of flack for this one too. They were like, bro, you gonna talk about an Invisible Woman? Nobody uses her. I know, but she's an underrated kit. I like her kit. I like her kit quite a bit here in my opinion, because you know what, I use her in Dark Dimension 2. I know a lot of players use her in Dark Dimension 4. Heck, there might be some players that I hear right now probably using her in Dark Dimension 5. Now, like I said, this is an underrated character list. I'm not saying that you're going to go out of your way probably to invest into these characters, but if you do by some means invest into these characters, you will find some pretty good value out of them. Her ultimate gives offense down for 2 turns to all enemies. And then she's also barriered all allies as well for 40% of her health. She used to have one of the better health pools in the game, not so much anymore, but that extra barrier does help a little bit. When her special ability also is able to clear 2 negative effects from self and all allies, and then she's also able to put a character into stealth. I mean, it's a lot of really good things that I think her kit, like a valuable kit, unfortunately just really kind of not a place for her in Marvel Strike Force anymore. But really think a solid usable kit here. That's the reason why I have her on this list as a underrated character in my opinion. I think that you can make a case out of her, and of course whenever she does have that barrier, if you do attack her, she does retaliate with a little bit of a hit too. So in my opinion, you know, not one of your top characters, but you know, being able to clear buffs off of your team, being able to apply that offense down, I think is valuable usage. So for that reason, in my opinion, and her costume is actually pretty damn dope. So therefore, I'm spinning her around for a reason. You can glean from that whichever one you want to. All right, let's move on. Next character on the list. Now we're kind of jumping into the honorable mentions list here, but wanted to talk about this character. Now, this is one of the characters that the chat recommended. Now, I personally don't necessarily know if he's underrated. I think maybe he's probably rated where he should be, but a lot of players are talking about Silver Samurai and what he can do here. They talked about his special ability, which is very valuable, right? So he's getting the taunt, he's getting 3 counter, he's also getting the 3 deflects, he's applying defense up just to himself outside of his team, but being able to have those counters on him, and the fact that he can every time he counters, you're going to be able to throw that skirmisher, that vulnerable on them. If you can have some other players that can take advantage of that vulnerable, that's pretty good. His ultimate can do damage. It's piercing damage, right? So, and if he does have those charges, then you're going to be able to get some additional damage out of him. The only issue that I have with him is that he is kind of a slow character, and does take a lot of time in just to be able to take an attack. So these falls into more of the honorable mentions list, and not necessarily a character that I can say justifiably that, okay, he's a really good plug and play character. But there were some players in the chat that said, hey man, Silver Samurai actually has a little bit more value than you're probably paying attention to. Also with the passive, right, but he has to have Weapon X allies around him in order for him to reduce the assist chance. In war, he reduces it by 100%. So I mean, a lot of what he does you can't really do it as well outside of the Weapon X team. So although they said that he's underrated, I just don't really see it there, but I do want to put him on the list because the chat did mention it here. Now another character that the chat also mentioned too, or once somebody in the chat mentioned, was Killmonger. And granted, I don't have my Killmonger built up very well, but you could definitely make a case for Killmonger being a underrated character in Marvel Strike Force. I only have at my level 60 and 10. But Killmonger is a versatile character because you can use him in so many areas of the game. There's 3 flash events literally that you can use him in. You can use him in Chaos Theory to get your gold promotion credits. You can use him in the trading mat event to be able to get those trading mats, and then you can also use him as well in Payday. So he's a versatile character where you can get some good value out of him because of what he's able to do. So therefore, that's the reason why Killmonger kind of shows up as an underrated character on the list, because mainly he is, he just has multiple versatile usages in the game. So Killmonger shows up on this list here as one of the underrated characters, honorable mention over underrated characters in Marvel Strike Force. Along the same lines as well, I think Miss Marvel is also an underrated character in the game as well, because she does have, she's not a great character, but she has a lot of value in this game. She's a Hero City character. Once you get to Villains Chapter 7, she's a Hero City character that you have available to you to use, because she does have a brawler synergy. If you have any other brawler characters there, she can get assists, and then she can also give assists as well to those characters. For the Doom campaign, she does have the Inhuman tag, so you can also use her in the Doom Chapter 1 campaign. She's also a character as well that because she does have the Human tag, you can use her to unlock Ebony Maw. So there's a lot of versatility. Block Party, she's a Hero City character, so therefore you can use her in Block Party. So a lot of value in terms of just the versatility and the areas where you're able to use Miss Marvel, although not one of the better characters in the game. Underrated in terms of just the value that she can provide, just because of the areas that you can use her in the game as well. These next characters, we got 4 more characters here that we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about these characters together. And two of the characters we're going to talk about here are some other mercenary characters as well, in Merc Riot Guard and then also Merc Lieutenant. Now, I get it. I actually like Merc Lieutenant quite a bit. There's a lot that he does with his kit. I mean, definitely that special, right? That special is amazing. You're getting the offense up, you're getting the speed up. On war defense, the Merc characters are just they're hard to deal with, right? They're hard to deal with. And the fact that this is a low cooldown, his health pool sucks though, so it does take a little while for him to survive. But Merc Riot Guard helps him with the survivability, because Merc Riot Guard can then apply those deflects to him. Merc Riot Guard with Taskmaster, there's that speed, right? So these two characters as a kind of a tandem, although they're kind of more Taskmaster, Merc Riot Guard, Merc Lieutenant. Somebody's talking to me about how my Merc Riot Guard is a striker. I don't even know why you even commented on that, considering that I don't really use the Mercs, as you can obviously see. So who really cares? But the point of the matter is that, listen, they're a good nice little tandem. Merc Lieutenant probably the best minion in Marvel Strike Force in my opinion, just because of his utility, his kit. He can also give you ability energy, as well. I think from his past, you can get some ability energy from him too. So I like the Mercs. I think they're a pretty decent team in the game. MERCENARY guard, a pretty solid fortifier character, whatever. If you want to put fortifier him, if you really care about all that crap, you can do that as well. But good character in the game for the most part that you can use. And another tandem in the game that also is kind of underrated. This is more for the beginner portion of the game. Are going to be 2 Wave 1 Avenger characters, and that's going to be HAWKEYE and Black Widow. So Black Widow, a lot of players use her in Dark Dimension 4. A lot of players use her in Dark Dimension, probably Dark Dimension 3, I think, too, as well. Especially after they got that rework kit. So pretty good utility kit that you can get for Black Widow. Mainly, I think a lot of people just like her because of this turn one speed up, right? Where she can apply a speed up to Shield, Avenger, and Skill Military, and then she can also has a chance to apply it to random allies as well. Usually, actually, she does speed them up pretty well. With her basic ability, she can copy and clear positive effects with her basic, so that becomes valuable. She can also stun and apply bleeds as well here with her ultimate ability. One of the fastest characters in the game, right? So you're going to be able to get this on. You're going to be able to get that speed up on turn 1. She's going to go pretty quickly. She can throw herself at the stealth, give her an opportunity to survive a little bit more. And then as a tandem with HAWKEYE, right? Skirmisher, striker combo. You're going to be able to get some assists there, which are really good. HAWKEYE, also with this special ability, he can slow you down. He can also clear positive effects as well. Ultimate never misses. He's always going to blind. He can blind the primary target, and he also has a chance to blind the other additional targets as well. So in my opinion, I mean, HAWKEYE provides a lot of really good value in the game as well. So and they're pretty decent value if you do have them built up. If you want to use them together, HAWKEYE and Black Widow do provide some solid decent value here. So those are kind of like the main characters I wanted to talk about. Some of the honorable mentions here: we got Shuri, we got Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Storm, Invisible Woman. Talked about the Mercs, the 2 Merc characters: HAWKEYE, Killmonger, Black Widow, Silver Samurai, and Miss Marvel. Those I think are some of the most underrated characters in Marvel Strike Force. Who do you think are the most underrated characters in Marvel Strike Force? Want to see you guys leave that in the comments. Do you like my list or do you hate my list? Let me know that too. Want to know what your comments are there. But listen, don't forget to like. If you like the video, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Comment down below, of course. That also helps out the YouTube algorithm. So if you guys do that too, would appreciate that as well. Check out the links that are down below. Discord, Twitch, which we're actually making this video on Twitch right now. So you can also be a part of some of these video creations as well process if you guys also want to join in on Twitch. So listen, until next time, appreciate the heck out of you guys. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Deuces. They be calling me royalty. Oh shoot, they can't even hear that song. Calling me royalty. Oh.